Yo, what's up, guys? Really need a new hobby, but that is a problem for another day. So we're going to be going through some bets, right? There's some good bets. There's some college football bets starting to pop up. And again, depending on where you're located, you may have different sports books than me, but hopefully this stream still helps you become a better sports bettor. That's the goal. So like this play, for example, I don't have access to PointsBet. It's not legal in my location, but you can see this seems like a pretty good play. So this website, Resorts World, it's only in New York, but they just copy PointsBet's odds. You can see PointsBet's giving you plus 100. Every other sports book has this like minus 110. FanDuel has this minus 128. Seems like a great play to go with, right? Sports betting, all about finding value. Nobody wins every bet. Nobody wins every day. But if you have an edge, if you're finding value in the market, you're going to win long term. So without further ado, where should we start? So we had some good plays on PrizePicks from the previous day, but maybe we start with Underdog Fantasy. So we can start with Underdog, and we can just look for some picks. So as an example, maybe we start with this play, right? And again, like I follow a very data-driven approach, to my bets. Not going to win them all, but that's what I do personally. So what we can do is we can check out this player in CSGO. His name is Seized, right? So again, let's look at map kills. So I apologize. Let's just get this set up correctly. So we go to first two maps, player kills, and you can kind of see like, hey, we have all these sports books posting lines, right? As sharp bettors, that's all. They're all data points to us. So PrizePicks has this guy's line at 31. Hot Streak, which is a sports book, you can see right here they have his line at 30.5 with the over as the favored outcome, right? So you don't need any magic. You don't got to pay for anything to use market information to your advantage, right? So Underdog has his line at 28.5. Jock Market right here has his line at 31.5. PrizePicks a little lower at 31. Hot Streak has his line at 30.5, and they have the over as the favored outcome, right? They have the over as the juiced or the favored outcome. So according to Hot Streak's model, they're saying, hey, Seized is more likely to go over 30.5 kills as opposed to under. So it becomes pretty clear Underdog Fantasy screwing up their line, right? No sportsbook can be perfect. Most of these bets suck, right? 99% of these plays suck. They're not discrepancies. There's not enough value to justify betting them. But this play clearly is good enough. So what we can do is we can continue to look for some esports plays. It seems like there's a lot of CSGO tomorrow. So here's another example. We can pull up this guy's line, right? What's the deal with him? Every other book has his line at 37.5 or 37. Underdog's at 35, right? This is data-driven sports betting. And again, some of these plays, if you wanted to, you could middle bet, right? And again, the reason we're looking at esports is that's where the value is. And on any given day, I'm just going to bet where I'm finding value. So what you could do is you could take the over, right, on Underdog Fantasy, the under on PrizePicks. It's kind of like buying a stock for $28.50 and then selling it for $31. So I used to be a trader, so I like to think in terms of finance, but like it's pretty simple. Buy it for 28.5, sell it for 31. That's a pretty good trade. If he has, 30, 29 kills, you're going to win both bets, or 31, you're going to push on PrizePicks, win on Underdog Fantasy. And then you can see there's just a lot of esports discrepancies in general. So I kind of like to show the data. I mean, you can literally just go down the list. There's nothing super complicated going on here, but we can look at this player. It looks like they already moved the line. So some of these lines move quickly, which is why I try to, and there's a lot of esports plays right now. Damn, right? Damn. So we can go here. We can go to Rafdu under 18.5. All the other books had his line at 16.5. 3 different games, all esports. That's where the value is. Value on Underdog Fantasy right now. I've already hit my betting limit. Oh, so I guess I've already placed this bet on. I already bet on this player Seized. So regardless, we'll skip that over. I mean, seems like there's some good plays in League of Legends. I mean, stuff like that. Let's just go back to the top. Let's start working our way down. So we want D1 LEDs under 41. So that's our third pick. tons of games, right? More games means more surface area for sportsbooks to cover, right? If they have to manage more lines, like everyone loves the NFL. I like the NFL. Here you can see my 3-pick entry on Underdog. But what's great about esports, and I've explained this in, other videos, I know it gets repetitive, but for anyone new here, is there's so many games, right? Like esports, there's like 50 games a day. That means there's tons of opportunities for sportsbooks to, mess up their lines. And all the fantasy optimizer's doing, this tool right here, is it's pointing out where books have discrepancies, right? Where's there actually value in the market, right? And again, you're not going to win every bet as a sharp bettor finding value, but you're going to win more slips, and that's going to help you actually win money long term. And again, what's really powerful about sports betting is once you actually get an edge, like these games are tomorrow morning, right? Or tomorrow morning. This slip is going to be done by 10 a.m. So that's awesome because, again, in sports betting, it's awesome because, like, your returns are daily. Everyone talks about, it would be great to earn 4% on my money every year. In sports betting, once you get an edge, even if your ROI is only 2%, you're betting on games that are that day. So in terms of like a monthly ROI, 2% you're earning on your bets. You're betting on games that are that day, 60% over the course of a month. So that's pretty cool. We can go back here. I try to focus on a bunch of sports books. Again, there's tons of sports books. I don't have access to all of them. You won't have access to all of them. There's hundreds of sports books out there. I think 207 are available on OddsJam. And sometimes there's really good bets on, PointsBet, and you got to move quickly. Some of these lines move. Sometimes there's really good bets on Fliff. It kind of depends. There's some, college football plays starting to pop up on FanDuel. There's some good bets on, looks like we still have some plays on Hot Streak for later today. So there's a ton of options, and the more books you have, the better. Just because can't really tell and never know which book is going to be screwing up their lines or have value on a given day. Like if we look at SportsBattle, there's only 2 line discrepancies. There's only 2 plays with value out of the tens of thousands of lines on SportsBattle. On Sleeper, there's nothing, right? So there's just not much out there. How about here? I mean, on JockMarket, it looks like there's some good plays on JockMarket as well, but you get the point. More books you have, the better. So what we can do is take a look at some of these lines. So I explained this before, but like there's some crazy line discrepancies. I mean, this is FanDuel and DraftKings, but if we go to FanDuel and we look at this Calgary Stampeders game, so we want to go to receiving prop or rushing props now. You can see his line, right? If you use DraftKings and FanDuel, this would be a pretty good bet. FanDuel has this guy's line at, where is it? 77.5 yards, right? 77.5 yards. So what you could do, and a pretty common strategy for sharp bettors, is you could take the under here, right? And then you can see ParlayPlay, as well as DraftKings. That's the running back. That guy looks like a linebacker. He is big. You're going to see they have his line at 69.5. So that's a pretty big gap, right? 8 yards. I mean, that's a massive gap. It's pretty hard to find that stuff. And here's the underdog play that we just hit if you're just tuning in or if you want to play on Underdog Fantasy. But what you could do, right? And this is, if you look it up, if you actually want to make money sports betting, I mean, do your own research. Middle betting is a very common strategy the big syndicates, sports betting hedge funds use. It's essentially doing this because all books set lines independently. The market's very fragmented, very inefficient. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Take the over 69.5, take the under on FanDuel, under 77.5. If this guy has 70 to 77 yards, you're going to win both bets, right? That's a really profitable betting strategy. It's called middle betting. And again, OddsJam has a tool for middle betting. And I put my promo code at the top if you want a free month of OddsJam. It's not going to help you win every single bet. It's going to help you win long term. Here's another line discrepancy. I mean, this is freaking insane, right? Like, this player's receiving line is 54.5 on FanDuel. And on ParlayPlay, it's 44.5, right? So hit the, I mean, that's a 10-yard gap. Hit the under 54 half, the over 44 half on ParlayPlay. That seems like a great play to go with. But anyways, let's refresh this. And again, for anyone just tuning in, I just hit this on Underdog Fantasy. Tail if you'd like to. My state sucks. Can't bet on fantasy. 5-man on Underdog. What's up, guys? Yeah, I'll show the slip. I'm trying to show the slip right now. Welcome to DFS. Anyways, let's go back here. So again, here's the slip on Underdog. Sorry if I moved too quickly previously over some of these. But we can take a look. And again, more books you got, the better. Pretty simple. We'll hit some bets. I mean, again, and it's same thing with promos, right? Like, sometimes Underdog Fantasy is running a pretty good promo. I mean, you can see, like, my last slip, I think this was from a live stream. We didn't win every pick, but you can see one play push, so we went 3 for 4. So won some money. Obviously only $25, but like PrizePicks has their little Taco Tuesday, right? They run a promo every Tuesday. So the more books you have, more promos, more money you're going to make, right? More promos means more money in your pocket. So we can go back to Underdog Fantasy. Why not? And we can take a look at, see if there's any plays that are interesting to us or that we want to go with. So we already hit this play on D1 Ledez. So that seems good. We can take a look at this player, Major. It's crazy. It's crazy how fragmented the esports market is. Same thing with CFL. Like, a lot of people think you want to bet on sports you know, and I actually think that's false because in general, like, people are more emotional about their bets. They don't bet rationally. They're not data driven, stuff like that, which is fine, but like, it makes it harder to make money. And also the sports books watch their NFL lines like a hawk. This is very common knowledge too. I'm not just spitting random shit out. Is books watch their NFL lines really closely. Like, you're not going to see 100-yard passing yard gap for Patrick Mahomes between books, and if you do, it's definitely not going to last long. So we have Roman, Viagra Boy, and we can take him over 30 half. Other sports books, once again, I mean, it's a very simple strategy, but it's what actually makes money, right? And again, the reason you want to look at real-time market data, right, like where sports books are setting their lines, everyone likes to talk about historical data, right? So if you go to the MLB, you'll see PrizePicks has this like, oh, historical last 5 games. How did he do in the last 5 games? This is bullshit, right? And it's bullshit. I mean, first of all, a sports book is showing you this graph. If a sports book is giving you graphs, it's probably not going to help you win money because the sports book wants you to lose money. That's how they make money. That's their business model. Historical data, right, is baked into the market, right? Like, if this guy went over or under, all that crap is baked into where books set their lines. And again, the reason you want to look at real-time market data, in other words, where sports books are posting lines, is pretty simple, right? Like, real-time odds encompasses everything, right? Like, everything. So I actually like this play a little better, and then maybe we take this play, clocks over 34 half, and here's the full slip that I'm going to be going with, right? So again, any public information is baked into the market. That's the most important thing. You got to remember, it's trading 101. If you've ever tried day trading, it's trading 101, right? Like, earnings reports are reflected in the stock market. Is the company doing well or bad? Are they making money, losing money? Is reflected in the market. But anyways, here we have a little 3-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy. All overs, right? So 3 overs, all plays with value, might as well take it. I'm going to lock that in. And again, I'm just showing you where I'm putting my own money. If there's any plays for the people who, whatever, if, you know, you don't like a specific pick, I mean, skip it over. That's fine. You don't have to bet exactly what I bet. I'm just showing you on these live streams where I'm putting my own money down. So now we can put Viagra Boy back in. Again, we didn't include this in the last slip just because it's, you know, from the same game. So then we have sound. There are a lot of esports line discrepancies. I'm just going to fire off picks. You could also make a 5-man entry. Someone mentioned that. Like, On Underdog Fantasy, 5 picks are pretty good. So we can take, so maybe we make a little 5 pick. Make it a little more interesting. So here we have him under 18.5. Sometimes there's good discrepancies. And again, I'm skipping over a lot of these plays where there's only one sportsbook with a discrepancy. God, there are a lot of line discrepancies in esports right now. It's crazy. And again, that's why I'm betting on esports. I really don't care what sport I'm betting on. If there's an edge, I'm going to bet on it. So we'll do a 5-pick insured entry if I can get some picks in quickly. Again, you just want to make sure you're not doing anything in the same game. Just because, you want to make sure you're getting the proper correlation. So it seems like tomorrow's a huge day for esports. So we already have some of these picks, so I'm going to skip them over. There's that big line discrepancy in the CFL. And then we want to make a 5-pick insured entry on Underdog. Here's the first 4 if you want to load them up. But what we can do is we can take a look here and try to find one more great pick that we're in love with. So again, like these plays where it's just one sports book, it's just PrizePicks and Underdog who have lines up. I in general skip those just because like I prefer to see more data points, right? More data points is better, right? And again, like this is trading 101 and it's, just kind of what you learn is like all these books are a data point on where the line should be set. You want to consider them all, right? So like here, the Commanders -7, it's like, okay, all these other books have it around here. Here's where Fliff is. Seems like a good bet. Nothing super complicated. But what we can do is there a final pick we wanted to go with? Maybe we go with B Litz under 22 headshots. So how do we feel about this? So this plays from the same game, so we're not going to be able to bet it. So we'll skip over that. And then we can take a look at Enzo under 36.5. In general, Underdog. So here we go. So here we have a nice little 5-pick entry. All CSGO. That's where the value is. That's where I'm going to be betting. So 5-pick entry. Hopefully you can see it. Here's the first 3. Da-da-da. And then here's the final 2. None of these plays in the same game. So we'll go ahead. We'll lock it in. I've already hit my max betting limit on Raftu. Whatever. If you want to bet this, I'll switch it to an insured entry, or that's what I would play as a 5-pick, but whatever. We'll play it as a 4-pick insured entry. Nothing wrong with getting 4 sharp picks. And again, typically what I do is I just like bounce around sportsbook to sportsbook. When I started out sports betting, all I bet was promos. So you'll see all these books, I did promos and arbitrage betting, but really promos are what got me hooked on sports betting, realizing how easy it was to turn stuff like this, sleeper promo from yesterday, into money, risk-free money even. You could hedge on a different sports book, this play on Gaussman. There's tons of crap you can do, right? You could, like, when they're giving you 30% off a pick, it's pretty hard to F it up and not find a way to hedge it and guarantee yourself money. So I used to do stuff like that and then, kind of realized, wow, there's actually a lot of money in sports betting. And there's some good bets here, right? Like you can see all these other sports books. This is what's crazy about sports betting. Every book sets lines independently. The market is extremely fragmented. So you can see Pinnacle, which is known to be one of the smarter or sharper bookmakers, they've ripped the line in favor of the over all the way to -129. You can still get -110 on Circa. Seems like a pretty dang good play. So we can go back to ParlayPlay, see if there's anything we're in love with. I mean, I try to just go from platform to platform. Again, see if there's anything I'm in love with. Again, there's some huge middles. If you have access to FanDuel, looks like there's a lot of good middles. Here's another one. I already gave that out on Twitter, though, so whatever. I'll skip it over. Sam Hartman, under 242.5 passing yards. Both FanDuel and DraftKings have this line lower at 232.5 or 237.5. So that play seems pretty good, right? And we can start building an entry on ParlayPlay. A lot of people ask me about bankroll management. Why did you bet these for $100? And again, like you can definitely make money sports betting. It's not that hard. If you're data driven, if you understand, and if you put in the work to make the money. But the reason I'm betting $100 on Underdog is that's the max bet size they give me. So kind of got to work with, you kind of got to work with what you have there. If the sportsbook's saying that's your max betting limit, that's your max betting limit. So what we can do is there anything we're in love with here? Is there anything with positive correlation I also try to look for? So Chad Kelly, another big discrepancy between FanDuel and DraftKings, 17 yards, right? FanDuel has his passing line for Chad Kelly, CFL at 269.5, DraftKings at 252.5. I mean, that's a no-brainer. 17 yards is pretty crazy. And again, the reason it's so profitable right now in the United States is there's so many sports books that are launching, and they're all trying to set lines independently, and they screw them up a lot. Oh, yeah, we can check out PrizePicks. Why not? So again, PrizePicks has a promo they're running right now, which is pretty cool. If you go over to PrizePicks, I mean, it's just easy money, right? Like, if we go to passing yards, Dak Prescott, I mean, obviously he's going to throw for 1 yard if he plays in the game. So that's a no-brainer play on PrizePicks. But the game's still a while away. But you can see, whatever, OddsJam picked it up and is like, oh, this is a good bet. Well, no shit, it's a good bet. It's a promo. But anyways, it's not always Underdog Fantasy that's screwing up. You can see, like, this player, Lakai. All the other sports books have his line at, 5.5. If you learn anything from these live streams, I promise you, you don't need to pay for OddsJam. You can just find value manually. It's going to help you win more slips. It's going to help you make more money, real money, sports betting. So I'm already on this play. Estime. Great running back for Notre Dame. So we already have him in this last PrizePicks slip I gave out. Over 78.5. The line has moved up a bit to 82.5, but you can see, right, again, this is data-driven sports betting. All odds, you can do this stuff manually. OddsJam just reading in the stuff and pointing out the value to you. So you can see, like, FanDuel is a data point. There's a billion-dollar company, multi-billion, that has invested millions of dollars in their data feeds, ability to set lines, all that sort of stuff. It's just foolproof betting, right? They have the line at 90.5. Right? DraftKings 85.5. So whatever, maybe we double down. We're getting a slightly worse line now, but who cares, right? It's still a play with value. There can still be a good bet. Caleb Williams over 301.5 passing yards. So this play is crazy too. So you're going to see, I think it ended up, I don't know if the slip won, but let's check out Caleb Williams. So it looks like here, not bad. We're 3 for 4 so far. PrizePicks used to have his line at 275.5 passing yards. You can see now OddsJam saying, yo, over 301.5 is pretty good. And that's because the billion-dollar sports books opened Caleb Williams' line at like 311.5 or 313.5. And that's valuable data for us as a sports bettor. So where's Caleb Williams here? So Underdog Fantasy also has his line higher at 313. What about ParlayPlay? They have his line at 310.5. So PrizePicks is sleeping, right? They got their line too low. And again, you don't have to win every bet on PrizePicks. That's what I'm always trying to say. When you're finding value, you're going to win long term. You're going to have an edge, right? And that's at least what I care about. I don't know what you care about, but I care about making money. So let's go here. And then we can go here. So Cyro. And then I need one more pick on PrizePicks. Maybe we'll look for something with decent correlation. So we can take this guy under 12.5. The other books had him at 12, whatever, or 11.5. And again, it seems like every damn bet we're going through is a line discrepancy. But again, that's because OddsJam is only pointing out line discrepancies. Most of these bets suck, right? You're not going to have enough value to beat the VIG or the juice. Like a half a yard passing yard discrepancy isn't a big deal. But when you get to like 15 yards, that's a massive deal. Massive. So what we can do is we have, what am I trying to do? Oh, I was on PrizePicks. So if we go here to PrizePicks, right, we have Estime over in rushing yards. We have a player from BYG over in kills. So sometimes you can find some nice correlation. So all correlation means is like, obviously, if we're going to take Caleb Williams over in passing yards, it would be nice if we could include a receiver to go over if there was some value on the receiver. But what sucks about PrizePicks, they didn't have this last season. You're going to see they started adding in these payout shifts. So they reduce your payout if you take positively correlated outcomes. So be careful of that. But still, that doesn't mean we can't find, some good bets and stuff like that. So we have Lakai over 5. He's on Beyond Gaming. So in esports, you're getting positive correlation if you take 2 players on the same team, both to go over. So this is actually perfect, right? Like now we're getting positive correlation on our esports play because we're getting 2 people on the same team, both to go over. Although I think on Underdog Fantasy, did I already hit what did I hit on Underdog? So on Underdog Fantasy, I'm on the under 8.5. PrizePicks has his line at 7. Again, a lot of people ask me like, oh, that's crazy. You hit his over 7 and his under 8.5. It's like, as a trader, all I did all day long for my entire career was buy a stock at 10, you sell it at 11. I mean, pretty simple. It's like, doesn't mean it's not a good bet. And we have positive correlation on this slip. So we'll hit it for $100. Beauty. And all these plays I really like, right? So we have the under here. We got the overs here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'll leave it up for a second. If anyone has questions, whatever, you can, feel free to hit them out. I hate payout shifts. But anyways, this is my email too if I don't get back to you. I have a 5-pick entry. Now Schulten is choking. Lovely. They definitely don't watch their PrizePicks lines. Alex Monahan is just my OddsJam promo. Dante. Gotta hit this shit on me. Finna make this bread. Caleb Williams under on Underdog. So I wouldn't take the under. I mean, if you wanted to middle bet Caleb Williams, it obviously depends what state you're in. But if we take a look at passing yards, right, and you look at Williams, right, like you can see PrizePicks is the one that's low. You'd probably want to middle bet this on Jock Market. They actually have the line even higher at 313.5. Right, you can see a bunch of sportsbooks started to drop odds. I mean, you have tons of data points. Billion-dollar companies. They're better at projecting lines than you. Sorry to hurt your ego. Their lines are based on where action's coming in as well. A lot of people think sportsbooks set lines and then they forget about them. No, they're constantly moving around lines. If all the action's coming in on Caleb Williams over, they'll move his line higher, right? Pretty simple. All these books have his line above 310. So you could middle bet it on a bunch of places. Bet365 has his line at 313.5. So does DraftKings. So does 10bet, which is a sports book in Canada. So again, it may not seem like a big deal, right? Getting under 311.5 versus under 313.5. But I promise you, those extra 2 yards of value, that's the shit that adds up long term and helps you make more money, right? Which is at least what I'm trying to do. So here we have our 5-pick entry. So we can go here too. Again, I try to focus on the sports books every once in a while because a lot of people bet on them. You can see there's some good plays on Fliff, right? Unfortunately, Fliff doesn't have like a web app, so I can't bet it. And again, all sports books, it takes literally a minute to sign up. Every one of my friends, I do this for them. I teach them how to sign up for the book, how to turn it into free money, and then if they don't want to bet, they don't have to bet, right? They give you a free $100 for signing up. Like, there's no downside to signing up. All these sports books are super regulated. I get questions like, yo, is FanDuel going to steal my money? FanDuel's a $10 billion company with a lot of regulation. They're not going to steal your money. They're not going to steal your money. So you can see there's some good bets on Circa. Ooh. There's some plays on Hot Streak as well. I do like Hot Streak. Maybe we hit a little play on, maybe we get a little late night play on Hot Streak. Again, I know it's not the most popular book. People are always like, Hot Streak. What's weird about this platform, all these books have their little like quirks. What's weird about Hot Streak is they have everything in decimal odds. I'm not sure why, because we're in America and we use American odds, but regardless, it's just kind of interesting. But what we can do is we can take a look here. What is it recommending? Dela Cruz under 1.5 bases. That's the play at minus 135 odds. How's the value? Well, all the other sports books have this at like minus 165. And again, the analogy I use for like people starting sports betting, like imagine you had a bunch of different stock prices. On Fidelity, you look at a stock, it's $170. On DraftKings Stock Exchange, it's $160. Would you like to buy it at $135? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. So you're going to see they have this at 1.74 decimal odds. That's minus 135. So OddsJam's just, converting it to American odds, which us normal people like to look at. And then we want Kelly under 17.5 outs. At plus 182, right? Crazy value. You have other data points, sportsbooks posting odds telling you, yo, this line should be around plus 145. Billion-dollar companies, plus 183 is crazy value. So we can lock that in. And are these players in the same game? So they're both in the same game, which isn't ideal. And that play on Dela Cruz wasn't even that good, so ideally I can find something else. So Altuve over half of a run, that play seems decent. I mean, I try to not include picks from the same game because the correlation gets a little weird, and I don't really want to do that. So I'll take Altuve over in runs instead of this play on Dela Cruz. This play on Dela Cruz was worse, right, in terms of the profit margin. So if we go to Altuve, well, you're going to see it's a boost on his runs. Hot Streak runs these like hourly promos. You can see they just said it was a promo, so I'm only going to be able to bet this for $10. But whatever, I'll hit it for $10. You going to let me bet it? There we go. Perfect. So you can see here is my play on Hot Streak. Merrill Kelly under 17.5 and Jose Altuve over half of a run. So again, the EV tool, like a lot of people think it's guaranteed wins. No, it's just plays with an edge that are going to help you win long term. Plays with value in the market. Again, 99% of bets suck. On PrizePicks, most of these lines suck. There's no value, there's no discrepancy. You're looking for those few rare spots where there's actually an edge. Anyways, hopefully this was a helpful live stream. Anything you want, any questions you have, feel free to reach out, alex@oddsjam.com. We hit a lot of bets, so we'll call it a day for now. I'll probably be back.